Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. Well, yeah, I'm still a little bit sick, but hey, hopefully today be a little bit better day for us. Oh, I think we feel like we missed a lot of good trading yesterday, but the market is already like doing some stuff. So I don't know. Problem is, I'm not 100% sure which way the treasuries decide to go on this. So let's come over to the charts and see where we're at. Wow. Let's start with the S&P 500 because they took a bit of a dive yesterday, right? Looks like we're still down pretty good overnight. I'm gonna close my pen because it's giving me issues. Yeah, still just languishing. Come over here in the treasuries, we get a pretty similar thing. So we got a bunch of data suggesting that things are still looking pretty okay, but then we also got a story from Nick Timmeros, which also suggested higher for longer and so forth. And so interest rates came back overnight. They're lifting a little bit more than the equities are, so that's curious. It also wasn't like too big of a change in the spreads. So oil, man, got just like pummeled yesterday and is looking pretty weak this morning as well. Not below 75, but man, that's down there. Silver and gold also taking a hit. Although I'd say, gold is still doing okay, that's not as much damage as it could have been. Let's just put it that way. And then we got Kappa. There's still a little bit of an uptrend in that, yeah. The dollar could become more important as time goes on. The Bank for International Settlements putting out a note yesterday suggesting that banks have exposure in the form of FX swaps that are twice as large as they think they are because this information is held off balance sheet. Could be a problem. If there was a problem, there's going to be a cash grab for dollars. Oh, that was Bitcoin. Here's dollars. Dollar just below 105. So higher than yesterday, but not by too much. Bitcoin kind of took the plunge yesterday, but it was just a retracement of what happened over the overnight. So not too big of a deal. Okay, D, I've got you here. Here's the thing. All right. We were talking yesterday, and he was looking for something to do with the depths themselves, right? So, oh, you know what? I need to switch them over. Okay, this is your depth in cells, right? I come in here, March contract. Okay, now this is a reconstructed tape, but it's going to tell me how many orders went through at what price and what time. That's like depths and cells information, right? So, how do you turn that into a chart? Well, that's why I assume what you really want to know is you want to know the pace of market orders, right? Which is why I'd recommend using cumulative delta. There's been so many different uses, so many different versions of this indicator. There's no point in me making one, right? But we can come in here, indicators. So there's one that comes with it called buy sell volume. That's useful. There's also the order flow cumulative delta, and you just set the delta type, which one is it? Oh, maybe it's just I forget exactly how you do it, but oh, maybe I can't add it in here. Bin ask sesh bar. You want to do it by bar, period bar, and that'll do it for you. Or you can go and download one. So Sim22 has one. If you don't have the one that comes with NinjaTrader because you don't have a full license, right? So Sim22 has this delta. And you can uncheck cumulative delta here, right? And then you're going to get, oh, let me come in and turn on tick replay so that you get an idea of what it looks like. A little better idea of what it looks like there. Okay. And then you get some idea of how many orders went through during that period. And that will tell you the pace of the market orders. So the further up it is, the more orders there were overall, and et cetera, et cetera. Or you could just plot volume for that matter, if you don't care whether it's buy or sell volume, right? That's how I would approach it. Is that data? What do you mean by normalized? I'm gonna switch these other tapes over. There we go. Close this window. Oh, well, so you want it as relative daily volume? No, it's not. So if you wanted something like that, I would probably do it from Jigsaw here. Jigsaw has a chart like that. Okay. I'm gonna come over here to this chart, and they have a CSI chart. Right. And that's showing you the cumulative volume relative to the session. Yeah. I don't think that it would work very well for like cumulative delta, like buying versus selling. I tell you what though, like this chart is super cool. They are very resource intensive. Because it has to load data from like, 10 days past to do the average and the calculation and everything like that, right? I would only use this like as you're learning. Use this to learn, but your goal should be to get to the point where you know what this chart is going to say, right? Curious that the treasuries are buying here this morning. I have another indicator that is for NinjaTrader that came from Lizard Indicators that also does a relative volume score like that I think is really, really good. And you can go in and you can put it on your market analyzer and it will give you the relative volume for all of the different instruments, which is like super cool because but basically you can come and look at the list and it will always show you the most active instruments. But it is way too resource intensive. What do you mean by why is there no join the bid in Ninja? If you want to join the bid, you click on the bid. Well, it seems like they're buying it up relatively aggressively, I would say. It's not like insane, but this seems a little too aggressive for me. Given it's a No News Tuesday, but also given that it's buying, because I really think when Chase, I'm still not following. If I want to put in an order in here, I click on the level that it wants, right? I'd have to look. If you want like your orders to move automatically, that Ninja Trader's probably not. The Ninja Trader does have like a follow option of some sort, but it has a chase order. I forget how to do those. Do you know how to do a chase order? See, I thought that the chase order had something to do with the strategy manager, but there's nothing in there to say. I'd have to go and find the video. There's a video that's for chase orders on the Jigsaw channel. Oh man, my ear just popped. It feels so good. That's annoying when your ear won't pop. See, yesterday, man, this is actually a little, because remember yesterday we were like 3.6. You don't know about Jigsaw? Nah. Well, I tell you, but you click on the price you want. That's right. If you want to join the bid, then you click on the bid. There you go. When I come in and I look over the markets in general here this morning, it is that decline yesterday in oil that perks my interest the most. But it seems to me like the equities and the treasuries are kind of following each other a little bit too closely, and it feels a little disjointed. So like if we come in here, it may be possible that the effects of the Federal Reserve's tightening has already come through, essentially, is kind of what some analysts have been saying. Okay, they've been saying that that there's this whole lagged effect that we think we've already seen it, right? And as such, they would probably need to raise interest rates more. Okay, so that would mean that the treasuries would have to go back to like 4%, right? That were true. Does that mean that the equities need to go all the way back down to the lows, though? Not necessarily, especially if we have such supportive buy flows going into the end of the year. It could still be sideways to up, right? But they're not. They're kind of switching, and then we get these things like it goes down more in the equities. Like yesterday, the story that we got from Zero Hedge, at least, was that the downside action was because of concerns of interest rates going higher, etc. Right? So why did the interest rates go lower overnight and not nearly as much as the equities moved during the actual session? I'm not quite sure I that one all matches up. So yeah, one's cool. This song's so dope. Short Spillin'. Oh, I haven't loved it. Okay, I love it. Today on Fox 13 News Utah, mother saves daughter from raccoon attack. Hope you got that checked. JP Morgan's Diamonds says crypto tokens are like, quote, pet rocks. My man. Listen, Jamie, if you run for president, I'm still pissed at you about losing me that money a couple months ago. Okay, but if you run for president, I'll totally vote for you. I would totally cross the aisle to vote for. I guess it depends on who's running against him. You had a really, really good, I wouldn't vote for Jamie Dimon over Ronald Reagan, for instance. But you know what I mean? Well, that buying did subside. It didn't take much volume for it to come back a little bit. Oh, what's this? I want to click on a fixed square that doesn't move as price moves. Oh, well, you can do that. So first of all, coming into your Jigsaw DOM settings, right? Hold on. Settings take a little bit to pop up when you click on it. Okay, I would recommend if you are on a if you're going to be submitting orders on the DOM here, to turn off the auto center. You don't want it to move on you. You just have to do it manually. Okay. There's problems with that, but like that's what you gotta do. Either that or set the auto center ticks like really, really high. Okay. And by the way, if like your DOM freezes up, like, and you decide to put an order in, don't like scroll up and down. Just don't touch it until it comes back to. That might, yeah, I don't think that you'd ever, like, Jigsaw doesn't seem to do that. I haven't been able to duplicate that error, so I think that it is a problem with my machine. So if you don't have, fast enough machine, okay. But then the other thing is you get this little control right here, right? This is your like little order control, and look, you got these buttons right here. Join the ask, join the bid, hit with the market, sell with the market. Right, and that will always hit you in on the one of those that you want, even if it moves. And then of course remember that you can also switch the order type here, so I can change it from auto to limit to always ensure that I'm putting a limit order in. That can help. Yeah, the Goldman Sachs CEO says job market is, quote, surprisingly tight. Said on Tuesday that the job market remains surprisingly tight and competition for talent as tough as ever while speaking at the 2022 U.S. Financial Services Conference. You should be more careful with your words, David. You think they come back the other side? I'm kind of tempted. to take it short. I don't know. The trend did very much to the upside, so. Oh. Just not used to it? Well, I think that whatever your trading software is, it takes a little bit of time to. I mean, I think that just coming in and submitting orders for a few days is part of the. Now, that's why, one of the reasons why, at least, all of these, like exercises and stuff are useful, is come in and, you know, just try and catch a tick as she goes, for instance, and you just kind of get the muscle memory a little bit, and I can, you know. Oh, did I switch that over? Whoops. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, they won't let me. I'm not supposed to put orders in on that. I told them to only enable this one. I wonder, why did I switch it to a real account? That's funny. Well, it's not time yet for me to come in and be like, oh, something's definitely going on, I should take a trade, yada, 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 yada. That's just kind of like, if I wanted to go short, that was just like the minimum amount of downside movement necessary to make me think that maybe it's gonna flip, right? On a scale from 1 to 10, how do you compare Jigsaw and Ninja in order execution and tendency to freeze? Well, I've had in 5 years, I've had Ninja Trader outright crash on me like once, whereas Ninja Trader is, man, I mean, granted, probably a lot of the problem in Ninja Trader would be like custom indicators that you might have and just having too much stuff up, but it's, and then order execution, like the DOM in Ninja Trader is just so terrible. I would have thought that after Jigsaw decided to no longer be a Ninja Trader add-on and just go off on their own, I would have thought that they that Ninja Trader would have beefed up their DOM. I would have thought they would have beefed up their DOM, because I thought that their vendors was the only reason they weren't doing it, but they never really improved it, did they? Yeah, I have to say, we had that issue last 2 weeks ago or something like that, where I submitted an order and nothing happened for 3 minutes, and then when it happened, it gave Jigsaw placed my order at a different price from what I clicked, and what happened was the click action was not processed, which is a Windows thing, by the way. Click action was not processed. It did not get processed until the DOM had already moved, and that's why it gave me the wrong price. And that kind of freaked me out, and so I only took a small profit that day. But I believe that error has more to do with my machine, because when we ran it on Friday for non-farms, which was just as crazy, by the way, well, I would say that it was just as crazy, didn't have any problems, but I had Ninja Trader closed. So I think that it could be that my machine is not handling Ninja Trader open at the same time. I think they need to customize it. Here's what I would change if I was them. Dang. There's a couple of things that just make it like a non-starter. Static is fine, but all of this empty space is just retarded. You got to do something about that. And then if I add a column, like let's say I add volume, okay? Why does it create this huge space? It's retarded. I have the static super DOM open. Do you think that the dynamic would do any better? Yours looks different from mine. Maybe you have an add-on that makes your DOM different and you didn't even realize it. It's probably mostly just that I have it so wide, right? Get it like that. Right? But I'm just saying, like, look. Like, freaking 40% of my space is just space. That's the problem with it. Just get rid of the padding, man. Get rid of the padding and make the columns go to the side here. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. You know, this should be over here. There shouldn't be a space. It's retarded. It's not like the crazy thing is that you can come in and like change that yourself, and people have gone in and done that. So I just don't. The padding is too much, man. It makes it unusable. The other thing I hate is that you have to push a modifier key to switch between like a stop and a target and all that. So yeah, Ninja Trader Dom's not very good. It is what it is. Well, I'm not seeing too much activity on this pullback. That kind of does not make me all too excited to try and take a trade. That says to me that that initial upside action was nothing really to speak of, and that we just don't got anything going on right now. Maybe at the top of the hour we might get an opportunity, but it'd be pretty difficult for me to predict which way it's going to go in the treasury. I suppose I'd have to lean, well, look, there's two upticks. I'd probably have to lean towards the upside because that is still the direction of the trend, but fundamentally, given everything that happened yesterday, I kind of think that there's a risk of rates raising again. So will the S&P 500 close over 4,000 today? Asks Anthony Crudelli. That's a good one for the betting contracts, whatever they call them. I'm gonna lean towards no right at the moment, though, don't you think? You want to do a poll? We'll do a poll for you, Anthony. Start a poll. No, you can't choose 4,000 exactly. It's going to be above or below it. Wow. Gold to 3,000 on Brexit and national meat bans. Saxo unveils 2023's 10 outrageous predictions. If there's a national meat ban, people in the United States would flip. It might be coming though, huh? Because there's all these people pushing for eating bugs. This is the bug eaters, man. You think it's gonna happen, guys? You think the bug eaters are gonna win and we won't be able to have hamburgers anymore? Nah, but the U.S. would revolt. The U.S. would revolt. There's no way. No way people take you. Once you start taking away people's meat. I tell you what, man. People do crazy things when it comes to their food. When I was in school, man. Okay, when I was in school, there was a very militant group of vegans. Okay, I'm sure that they would probably be the, well, I won't go there, but you know, every generation there's kind of a trend and stuff like that. And in my generation, the kids that were kind of dressing all emo and were rebellious, they were vegans. Okay, and they were militant. They would put stickers to say stop eating animals on all the stop signs and stuff like that. Okay. So one day, the vegans had a table or something like that and were putting information out, and somebody decided to debate with them, and it got really heated, and there was practically a fist fight. So I wouldn't have thought that the vegans would get crazy enough for it to get to that point, but yeah, there was a fist fight in the cafeteria over veganism. So the next week, a bunch of guys got together and had a huge barbecue, and they had a vegetable and a noose, and they gave everybody free meat, and everybody loved it. I mean, I don't condone fistfights, but man, it was funny. Okay. I think that if you get rid of meat in the United States, people will probably flip out. Pressure on no, it's not pressure on agriculture for climate. It's pressure on agriculture for government's power's sake. Have you seen this shit that's going on in the Netherlands? That it's literally we're just gonna take your farm. You have to adhere to these onerous requirements that make it practically impossible for anybody to make money. And if you don't follow them, then they're just gonna take your farm. They're just gonna expropriate it. So they're not using expropriation, they're using, public domain or whatever they call it. Future plots for renewable energy. Well, that pisses me off too, is that renewable energy is not, it has impacts on the environment too, especially solar. Solar is really damaging birds, and it takes a lot of land, right? Anyways, no, the government wants the land so that they're in control of the food supply. That's what they want, I think, personally. Or that's the conspiracy theory. Let's say the conspiracy theory is that the government would like to have, and corporations would like to have complete domination over your food supply. They don't want individual people to be able to grow whatever they want. Well, The issue is that we're getting into stuff that we can't prove, right? All I can prove is that they having these laws that are basically like, if you don't follow their rules, then you lose your farm. Why are they doing that? Other than that they want people to follow the rules for their farming? I don't know. I think that any excuse that you come up with would have to be classified as a conspiracy theory, right? Was the Middle East about oil? I think it was much more complicated than that, but even all of that is speculative. It's all speculative. Why is it? Let me tell you. When I go to Patriot Style Win these days, and I watch and I read their comment threads and everything, why is it that 90% of everything that gets said there is speculative? Don't get it. Why has the right become so speculative? There's like there's plenty of shit going on that we can prove. We don't have to go to the conspiracy theory land. You don't get it. Like, I mean, maybe they want control of the farming, okay? But like, you're taking people's property. That's bad enough. Like, that's bad enough. I just assume that everything that comes from an authoritative source is true. Look, you can't. It doesn't work that way, Uzi. Right? Because what all you've done is you've taken us from a framework where we can determine what's not true and not true to a framework where you just have to believe what you want. And objective truth cannot actually be verified. Right? Stop asking questions, assume the government knows best. I think that if you're gonna make a claim that and say that X thing is true, you have to have proof that it's true, right? Like, making speculative claims without any way to follow up on them doesn't help anybody. Especially when you're hinting at some sort of ulterior motive, as though government is a monolith, or there's some sort of grand conspiracy pulling the strings behind doors that determine what these policies should be. I say the government and any and all actions taken by the state, no matter how harmful. No, like, look, the government is doing plenty of harmful things, and we can just point out how they're harmful, and we don't have to speculate about it, though, right? Okay, like, for instance, one that's really irking me this morning is that the Democrats have insisted on putting this JPOA, or I forget the acronym, it starts with a J, into military spending bill. So has absolutely nothing to do with it, with military spending. What it actually is if Facebook links to an article from CNN, they have to pay CNN for that link. There was this law was put in place in Australia and was like a disaster, and they're trying to like reformulate it or something. But like the whole thing is just retarded. Like, why you put that in there? You're gonna charge people for links now? You're gonna charge social media for links? Yeah, I'll tell you what's gonna happen is Facebook's gonna say, okay, you can't post links anymore. You can only stay on Facebook. That's what they want anyways. Retarded policy. Why? Where does it come from? I don't know. Who cares? It's a dumb idea. It's a dumb idea. See how I did that? I didn't have to say anything speculative. It was all facts, right? That's how you get things done, right? Because the instant that I say, well, this is all a conspiracy, the Democrats are bought and paid for by the lamestream media, and they're just doing this to try and save failing media companies. Maybe true. Maybe true, maybe. But I can't prove it. Speculative. And guess what? All of these people out there that don't believe that, that's what they're going to attach onto. They're not going to attach onto, oh, well, it is a dumb idea. Yeah, it is kind of dumb. Like, you can't post links on Facebook anymore without paying for it. Like, what? That is retarded. Right? No, that's not what they're like. There you go with your conspiracy theories again. You see? Doesn't help. Doesn't help. The more factual you can keep things, the better. Right? Listen, I've done the politics thing. I've done the political messaging thing. I've played the games that they play. I know how it works, and I'm just telling you. It's not an effective strategy. Do you know who that's an effective strategy for? Like Russia and China, right? Russia and China loves for Americans to live in this world where no reasonable person can determine what's true or not true about an issue, right? You use that word to make speculation sound like the endeavor of fools. It's not the endeavor of fools, it's ineffective, right? It kind of does though, right? In the end, all of these things require some sort of a conspiracy. It requires a group of people coming in and making a decision and hiding the real reason why they're making that decision. That's a conspiracy. Right? So we come in and we say, well, the reason that they're doing that is because the mainstream media is failing because of social media, and so they need some sort of saving, some sort of thing to save them, and so they have conspired with the Democrats to put it in there. It's a conspiracy. Or Bill Gates has decided that he wants to own all of the land, and so he has conspired with the government to expropriate it from us all, right? It's a conspiracy. You're speculating on what will happen with the abandoned farmland? Well, presumably the government will sell it to a corporation, is my understanding. I don't know if it'll actually be used by renewable energy. I don't know if the law states. But I'm going to bet, like, just knowing the way that a government works, is that they would auction it off, right? Plus, we're talking about the Netherlands, right? I don't think that they are in dire need of extra land for energy, right? They've got plenty of space for windmills. Right? Put it all in the water. They will lose this Friday. Do they have an election coming up, Lucas? That would maybe have helped me understand some things. Because, yeah, a bunch of people were saying, okay, go ahead and do it, because you're going to get creamed in the elections if you do that. But I thought that was, like, distant future. This Friday. Okay. Well, then we'll keep an eye on it. So you're saying it's just not going to happen because the people are going to step in and do something. Yeah. No, I don't think there's... Speculating on. So then the question, Uzi, is why are you speculating on what will happen with the abandoned farmland? I guess you guys didn't watch it. No, I did not. I'm using rhythmic data, Nico. Helps you find places to put money. I don't think that the law in the Netherlands that it makes a good trade setup. I don't think so. Could investing in renewables, actually this one is a really interesting topic. Okay, so should you put your money into renewables? Right? That's the whole thing. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, because like here's the thing, as a short-term trade, I think absolutely, like people are definitely gonna be putting money into it, right? And the government is giving money, so you should be able to make money off of it from that, although probably a lot of the money is not going to be going to public companies or anything like that, so it's not going to be things that you or I can profit from, but somebody's going to be able to profit from it. But the issue is like, is it really is it really the best place for your money on like a 30-year time scale? I'm not so sure it is, because I see a lot of problems with renewable energy, right? I see a lot of problems with energy in general on the horizon, right? Like you can't have everybody with these electric cars. It's not going to work, folks. It's just straight up not possible. Like people come in, they had this great idea, it got marketed to them and everything, right? And nobody actually thought it all the way through. Oh, okay, how are we going to charge all of these cars now? Oh, you mean we have to have like special electrical infrastructure in our houses to be able to do it? So now I have to go and get it charged at the public station, and there's too many cars per station trying to charge, so I can't even use my car? That's the world we live in today, right? Nah, if I was going to make a 30-year investment in energy, it's going to be in nuclear, because that's the only viable energy source that's actually in line with all of our scientific knowledge. These renewables can't do it. Pharmaceuticals is where it's at. Well, the issue with pharmaceuticals is getting the right one, right? Pharmaceuticals, they have really high beta. If you want to do pharmaceuticals, I would recommend having some medical background and being able to understand these studies and so forth that companies are doing and the science that they're close to being approved and stuff, because that's essentially when they get paid out and when you can make money on the stock. The generation children are absolute psychological catastrophes? Nah. I have a theory on this. It's not a conspiracy theory, it's just a theory. I think that people's psychological problems aren't as big of a deal as they're making them out to be, and that they're not any particularly worse than any other generation. It's just that they focus on it more. And I don't think that most people will go and get help because it costs too much money. So just deal with them, right? Yeah, but note how my theory didn't necessitate a conspiracy. I mean, that's the other issue here, right? Is that ultimately this is why it's not effective, guys. Is ultimately you are accusing a certain group or a party with doing something wrong, immoral, underhanded, dirty. That's really what it is, right? That's what a conspiracy theory is. It's saying the reason that you're doing this is because of these evil ulterior motives that you have, right? And the issue with that is that anybody that believes in, thinks that that's a good thing, people that are concerned about climate change and are concerned with how much farming is contributing to climate change, for instance, right? Now you're instantly on their shit list, right? They're not going to listen to anything else you say now because you're attacking the idea with a conspiracy theory. You're kind of implicating them. And that's at least how they feel. And so you don't get you're not very convincing to them. It also came with no evidence that's true. I didn't offer any support for my theory. What would we need to do to prove our theory? I don't know. We might be able to go and look at evidence that has been gathered on mental issues and do our own kind of analysis to kind of show, okay, if we diagnosed things with modern standards, then where would we be at? And then we find that maybe people are not as mentally healthy overall as we think. maybe everybody's a little weird. A theory with no support is no theory? No, well, that's not true. I mean, so the reason why you would come up with this theory is Occam's razor, right? It's the simplest explanation is that actually it's always been like this. It's just that our diagnosis standards have improved, right? And there's plenty of reason to think that that's true because that's been the case with many things. Like, for instance, people say that why is the incidences of ADHD increasing? Well, I tell you, it's because it's being diagnosed. And the evidence that we have suggests that far more people out there are being undiagnosed than are being misdiagnosed, like by far. And that ADHD is really widespread psychological disability. So why wouldn't that apply to mental health as a whole? It's a reasonable theory. It is true. NASDAQ killer. 100% true. I tell you what, man, this is one of the things that happens on the internet that is like one of the most frustrating things. Let's see here. EXP, does it imply I can't see level 2 on European stocks. That's odd, TLA trader. I don't know. You have to ask. You should email Rhythmic. Well, we are getting the downside. I guess I would have made $10 at the price that I was eyeing. I did kind of say, well, maybe at the top of the hour we could take one, but it's not really doing stuff to make me think that something actively is going to happen. Now I would say that it's kind of in the cards. Maybe they get continued moves down. I do very strongly suspect that it will be a down day today, and that there's some maybe more selling to come. But I don't know if I meet the threshold for a trade today, especially given that there's no news and so forth. Also, we're at 114 even, which tends to be, probably we'll have a bit of volume trade at it. And this whole move down, starting from 20, this new lows is also pretty light, so I think I'll hold off for a little bit. What was it again? Okay, so this is one of the things that is like on the internet, where it's like the internet is clearly wrong about something and it persists, right? So I continually find that what happens to be like the popular thing on the internet, or the way that certain conversations go or whatever, have more to do with like deficiencies or quirks in human nature rather than they do reality. And ADHD is one of those, because the thing that you always hear is, well, you're just chockering the kids full of medications and you're overdiagnosing them, and it's just to support the pharmaceutical industry, etc., etc. Couldn't be further from the truth, guys. There is like no mental disorder, deficiency, whatever it is, studied more heavily than ADHD. Okay, and there is nothing in which the pharmaceutical evidence is more heavily tilted in favor of the treatment than with ADHD medications. Like, straight up. The reality is, if you have ADHD and you take Adderall, it will improve your performance, period. The scientific evidence is abundantly clear. But the internet doesn't seem to want to believe it. I froze. No, I think we're okay. That last nose blowing was kind of weird because not very much came out, but my nose was definitely being plugged. The stuff I'm getting out, though, is pretty whitish clear. It's definitely improving today, so. Oh, maybe the whole platform. I did get a few frames missed of rendering lag. I'll reset that to see if it happens again. I was thinking maybe they give me a better price, but it's just right back up to here, isn't it? And the way I'm seeing the orders trading, it kind of looks to me like the retail traders think that this is going to go higher. Rates are going to go higher here. Are big orders in the time and sells important? Yes and no. So, I mean, there is informational content in them, okay? Especially like the larger orders, and I kind of show those over down in here. You can see behind my picture. I look at them. Are they like absolutely essential? Like, okay, there's this one thing you see, and then like you can take a trade and yada. No. Do you think PPI is gonna? Well, PPI will be important, but obviously not as big of a deal as the CPI still. Using on your part. I think that people tend to overstate the importance of large orders. Okay, but one of the things is that a large transaction or a series of large transactions in an area can create a liquidity hole, right? So. Now you should be able to see that on your DOM, but it's useful to have these things too. Your time and sales things too. Well, shoot, not only are they not giving you any break, but the spreads are just awful. Forcing you to pay up, although it looks like somebody paid up and got absorbed right there. I gotta be careful because that action right there kind of is a kind of a place where it's like everybody goes, okay, yeah, now it's definitely like we definitely rates are going higher, and that's when it starts to get choppy. You know what I think it is? The conspiracy theory thing. You know what I think it is? Conspiracy theories were fun back in 2016. And some of those conspiracy theories bore fruits. And probably would have borne fruits in the 2020 election if the media wasn't, putting their thumb on the scale. And so now the right is like obsesses over it. I tell you what though, guys, like things of that nature, they only come along every once in a while. I think that if you want to make the country better, that you should be focused on creating better policy, not spending all your time chasing after conspiracy theories. Weird, starts to get choppy. Why was it moving before? Well, I think that part of the reason it starts to get choppier after that is because more people get involved at that point, right? So to me, it's like, oh yeah, the rates are definitely going to go higher, but there's got to be other people that are like, oh, this is a great opportunity for mean reversion, right? I mean, just come and look at the chart, dude. Look at how clean the initial move down was, and then from this liquidity hole, which was really just really quiet area, and then we dropped from here, now ever after that, all over the place. Now, choppy meaning that you get a lot of swings in both directions. The choppy meaning autocorrelation declines. Is I guess what I would mean. I mean, you're gonna have high volatility on top of that too, meaning that the swings could be relatively wide, which they are. They're about 5 to 6 ticks right now. I don't recall hearing this one. Yeah, bigger range. Hmm. 3.58, the best I could have gotten so far. Okay, here's the mini open. Relatively mild open. Looks like treasuries are selling a little bit again. I think that's mostly just the bid pulling, but looks like their orders are mostly to the downside though. Some absorption on the bids though. Looks like they might do it. Oh, not quite. Not that time. Well, there's 17 into a new low. Think we'll see 3.6 today. Seems awfully close. Concerned we see more, even more than that. Well, the first bit of orders in the S&P 500 were selling, but now we're getting quite a bit more buying. Well, the informational edge here, Nasdaq killer, is the risk that the Federal Reserve has to start guiding even higher. So this would just be continuation of what we saw yesterday from the Wall Street Journal, etc. It's kind of what I've been looking for. And I think I've seen enough, you know, from the 5-year in particular to suggest that that trend is likely to continue through today. The beginning, it was a little rough. Like in the beginning, I was like, I didn't like it because it was going the wrong way, right? So we'll see. I'd say like today, because today is quiet, I have to be a little bit more. I have to go out on the ledge a little bit more. Yeah. Really was hoping that I'd get 3.57, but doesn't look like that one's in the cards. Of course, now maybe they'll finally do the actual pullback. I have to say that tick into the new low at 29.5 was not particularly encouraging. Didn't really go the way that we would like to see it, did it? This is one of those times where I want to just come out with a bunch of orders and be like this, but I'm gonna try and stay focused here. So the level 2 reacted to that uptick a lot, right? Looks like back and forth at 31 a lot there. I'm not seeing signs of a liquidity hole yet, but it could form here. Yeah, Nick Timiros is the Fed whisperer. He had a story yesterday from the Wall Street Journal. Happened after the stream, I guess. No, it happened as the stream was closing. And there's another uptick. You know, it has been doing this to me a lot lately. It seems like as soon as I get in... Oh, wow. Yeah, that turned south on me quick. As soon as I get in, the flow immediately flips on me. Like that move right there had a lot more volume in the 10-year on it. See that uptick had good bid following it too. S&P looks like they're heading to the downside now. Okay, so kind of weak bids there. A little bit of buying in the 5-year though. Okay. 30-year tick down that one. We might be seeing a switch in the spreads here. So I'm thinking about this like, oh, looks like I guess I could have waited and gotten 3.75, right? But would I, if I had not gotten in a position, would I be trying to open a position here? I'm not so sure that increase in cumulative delta in the 10-year kind of has me a little jittery. It's only 4,000 net contracts, but pretty strong auto-correlated volume to one side, so And the frustrating thing about this kind of trade is that I think that generally I had the right idea today, right? It's just I was like way late. Twitter this morning kind of quiet again. I guess it always feels like Twitter is quiet, but probably activity on Twitter is changing a little bit. Maybe I need to find different people to follow. So right now we're kind of getting push and pull here because the 5 years kind of pushing up and the 30 years kind of pushing down. And so 10 years kind of thinking, oh, so should I be going up? But they're not quite. Well, getting a decent amount at 02. It's kind of been sitting here for a while now at 02. I can see it does look like the volume in the 10-year is maybe flipping around to a sell. That doesn't look so hot in the S&P 500, does it? Where's our poll? What do you guys say? 60% of you said below. Another down tick, and this time the 5-year drops kind of hard there. Some counter volume in the 10-year, but they still succumbed to the downside there. Microsoft Corp recently considered building a super app that would include shopping, messaging, news, and web search, among other services, the information reported Tuesday, citing people familiar with the matter. I think Microsoft's my favorite tech at this point, so that's kind of interesting. They haven't had a very good track record on that sort of thing, though. Okay, so it seems like they're holding this area now. That's just a little bit lower. It's a little curious. S&P 500 seems to be recovering that last downside candle. The 30 year still looks heavier of the two. Like there was that, I think that somebody in the 5-year cute, but oh, by the way, do we get ECB this week? We should, right? Yes, on... Well, she speaks on Thursday. Maybe they're going to be after the Fed. Bank of England tomorrow. Oh, ECB December 15th. Okay. Oh, so right after the Federal Reserve. The day after. No, downside not happening so much, and it looks like the 10-year is trying to push. The behavior that I'm seeing here is not very indicative, I think, of the larger, kind of slow and steady down pressure that I was looking for. It kind of looks like people are kind of testing the sides of this and stuff. I guess what I'm saying is this is a much... Oops, sorry about that. Discord, OBS disconnected there for a moment. I think we're back though. Looks like we're all okay, yeah? I suppose if there is like another leg down, we still have a chance of it coming through here. in the next like 15, 20 minutes. You know, liquidity is a lot better today. There's that. Two ticks at a time there. That's curious. The volume in the 10 years still appears to be going to the downside. I'm really interested in that movement, but it might just be random. I don't know. That tick there, it was 4 ticks in ZB. They got smacked down. Now ZB is at the low end of its range, so they, you know, I don't know if the market reads too much into it unless they start ticking 16. Right? In 29.16. They definitely had the chance to climb higher, didn't they? And I would say that if one side is pushing more than the other, it's definitely the sellers. But the amount is still really tiny amounts, so I don't see any edge diddling in the middle now. Yeah. Well, so I'd be, so just want to know, when we had the selling, it came in about 12 minutes before the S&P 500 had opened. It was not, here, let me send you that link, that indicator D. Anyways, so it's possible that if there's like some sort of longer term meta order going on, that it's still coming through, and that activity that we just saw there is very supportive of that theory, because we are getting some across the board selling coming back in again, right? Yeah, see if that one will install. You might have to, there might be other parts. I'm not sure. Oh, I never saw this message from Uzi. It was showing me the DOM, his DOM. Oh, yeah, you can make it look like that. You can put the stuff on the side. I know what the setting is for that. Still a lot of wasted space. Okay, well, the 30-year has pushed through the 16 now and is touching 14. So it looks like we did get some stops when they broke that range. But I'm still seeing like steepening. So the 10-year, the 10-year here is only like down a tick. Oh, somebody needs their license activated. I'll take care of that after the stream. S&P 500, they got a decent pullback, but now into new lows. It's very sad to watch, to be honest with you guys. Oh, we get some news here at the top of the hour, do we? Oh, IVPMI. That one's usually not super big mover. This is a weird one. From a scale of 1 to 10, how long are you willing to let this trade unfold? Well, if we had not been getting this downside right now, I probably would have gotten rid of it. So, I don't want to be in a losing trade for more than an hour. That's what I would say. And right now we're at 27 minutes, so. Right. If it takes 45 minutes for the order book to heal and see another potential move, then I should be able to keep my trade less than 45 minutes. At least less than 45 minutes before it becomes profitable. We'll see if they're ever able to break new lows here. The 30-year, it looks like it will. Nope, uptick. The 10-year made new lows, and actually all of them made new lows in cumulative delta there. So I think it's fair to suspect that we might see further downside, but let's just note that there is a little bit of that they're not going for the lows yet, and there is a possibility that you get a slightly higher low and all that sort of a thing, right? Man, the stuff that's coming out of my nose is so thick. Okay, that's looking a little better. Nobody in the micros is hitting it yet. So really in the 30-year, we'd want to see them below 129.08. That was kind of like the pivot low from before the open. Skipping prices. Well, you see that there's definitely well, so I should know. I'm seeing the like really heavy correlation with the Japanese yen right now. The Japanese yen is not looking so hot. And that seems to be, well, okay, so we have a very heavy correlation with the Japanese yen, and we're seeing it drop on really easily, not very much volume. So that kind of suggests to me that it could be the correlation that's the primary driver here. I am seeing counter flows in the treasury. Skipping prices. I didn't see that skip any in the 10-year, but man, look at the S&P 500 is still going. So here's the question. Is the S&P 500 falling because they expect interest rates to rise? Or are they falling because this rally is overextended and all these sorts of things? Because the S&P, it's because the treasuries at the moment don't seem too freaked out about interest rates rising more. You know, like the volume isn't really there. It's mostly following the 6J. So I think what's happening here is the dollar is, the S&P 500 is falling and the money is fleeing into the dollar, and that's what's causing the interest rates to go higher, but only by like 3 basis points. It does matter where the money is coming from and going to. It matters a lot because that can help us determine what future order flows might be coming through. This dollar thing right here, that's something that could have real legs to it, right? And to be frank, it matters here in the treasuries as well, because at some point maybe volume does come into the treasuries. Right now it's not, but maybe at some point the volume does come in. Because I guess the kind of the thing is the prediction I'm making is that we should be seeing sell volume, and we have, but not as much as I would have thought. So there's probably still some opportunity for it to happen. So now we have to kind of think about what are some potential catalysts that we might get, right? Well, we do get well, not hindsight, we're talking about the future, right? Talking about the future. We do get European close in 90 minutes. That could be a change. Oh, we're not to the reversal time period in the S&P 500 yet, so man, that downside is getting a little bit more accelerated. I don't think I ever closed that poll. You can still say below you want. Actually, I'll end it now because it's like obvious that which way it's going, right? It would be a miracle if we closed above 4,000 today now. Not actually still very possible in this market, huh? But it would be a miracle. So start praying. Start praying. Okay. So a little disjointed tick there. Why pray? Because you're gonna need the help, man. You're gonna need the help if you're long spoos. Like, look at this. What we got here in the treasuries was like a little sneeze, right? But over in the S&P 500, they're down 35 points. So we've kind of come to a just kind of like a ranging zone again here in the treasuries. 10-year in particular seems to be really going sideways here at 30.5. The 10-year looks like it wants to drag him down. Okay, so there was a little bit more volume there. Ticking into the low. Still, oh, okay, we did get a little bit of volume in the micro. I spoke too soon. It's like as soon as I said that it was stuck in that ranging area, they got smacked out of it. But look at the 6J, man. Like the 6J is like falling out. The 6J is falling out here. And like, look. We got plenty of room to go to just to retrace like overnight movement. So as long as the S&P 500 is pushing down, I think that we could continue to see this pressure in the treasuries. Which is kind of weird that it's coming out that way, because usually pressure would be like the opposite. Spoos can do that in like 30 minutes. Okay, but it's like, to me, it's $150, okay? It's a big deal. Well, the 10-year ticked the low, but they did not tick a new low yet. And the 30-year, not below 08 yet. So that was a pretty good excursion on the downside, but it's not like the one that I think you really need to get this thing to like start breaking more aggressively. Yeah, and right back, actually testing the upside a little bit now. They're able to hold 31. What is this, Spoos? That's the S&P 500 futures. That's slang for S&P 500. You know, because when you look at it, it's S&P 500. It's like Spoos. SPSOO, Spoos. What, you never heard that before? Now's that color. You gotta get up to date on your trader slang, man. Well, I'm a little surprised that after all that action, we did not get very much, many more orders here in the micros. No, it's a noun. Be in trouble if it was a verb. Volume in the 10 years still seems slightly tilted to the downside. Yep, exactly, Akshay. We could just call it crack cocaine futures if you want. I don't think that YouTube would appreciate that, though. Ouch. Strong downtick. Strong bid in the 5-year now. Shying away from it. Okay. They put some good offers up at points, but nobody's hit into it yet. Okay, there's 2 lots. Didn't pull. It's a real order, probably. See, that's 430. That's an okay offer. I mean, if it was 600, then it's definitely like they're gonna fill it, but 1,500 of that is one order, really. Well, there was 300 traded. Okay. Why would you do that? Sounds like a waste of time. Two ticks up. Didn't trade through it. Oh, now they traded it. 13.79. That was fast. That was like I was like literally giving up on it, and then they just went down and tagged it, just like woo. Do you think natural gas intelligence maybe? Sounds like a service. I've never heard of it before. Sounds like a service that might give you an edge in natural gas for sure, or at least get you like on par with the market. If it's not edge, it's at least base, probably. Okay, well, they traded it. Now it's just kind of like gone dead. Ouch, ouch. This is interesting that it keeps doing double ticks. But maybe that's because it really does look like it's the correlation with the currencies that's moving at. The dollar index isn't stopping yet. Okay, they recovered the 2 down ticks. Continue to see the order flow to the downside in the 10-year. So that helps. No, don't like that. A little bit more buying came in there. I'm a puke it. That's been 45 minutes, right? Yep. Over 45 minutes starts turning back down again. That means that it was just a bad trade. That's okay. We recovered a lot of it, so could have been a lot worse. Yeah. Wasn't nail biter, was. I mean, if I had gotten it from the 70, then I would have been really happy with it, right? I probably should have gotten -5 instead of -10, right? Like I'm getting a lot of like supporting flow, but it's just like not quite there. Like, right? We're definitely the market seems to be reacting to higher interest rates, but the treasuries aren't actually moving. It's really kind of interesting. Yeah, I sent it on Discord. I got it off of Futures.io, so they're gonna come all the way back to the O2. I think that big order that they filled in the 5-year was too much. Like, because with them pushing through it as aggressively as they did, and then for it to just go dead, that really does suggest that there's just not enough selling out there. It seems to me like that there's movement out there, but that the treasuries aren't transacting a lot of business today. So maybe it goes lower. Maybe later on in the day it goes lower and then it really runs, or maybe after the European close it does something. But for us, you know, I don't want to be in it more than 45 minutes, and I certainly don't want to come in here and have it go 20 ticks against me again and have to, you know, wait on it, try and go through. I'd much rather wait and try and take one in 45 minutes. I am concerned that, like, at some point we're going to see rates raise back up to 4%, and I'm going to miss it. Did I not? No, I definitely sent it to you, D1. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I didn't hit enter. Okay, now look. Sorry. Coming all the way back. And by the way, another thing is, think about how much volume went along with it on the downside, and now it's coming all the way back up, maybe even gets above 03, which would be a break of the top end of the range, and no hardly any buying at all in it, right? But a pullback in the Japanese yen. Well, like, the pressure is still kind of there, so it's like you know, I think he could still try and justify a trade, but I'd have to say this is pretty icky action, right? There's a really crazy way of going to both sides. Well, it really felt like it was going to do something on the downside, didn't it? And it just never came. I said no in the beginning. What do you mean by that? Can you name some other services? Well, I mean, the one that I rely on primarily is Financial Juice and News Squawk, right? I also think that Zero Hedge has some really useful information, right? If you pay for the $100 a month thing, they give you all of these professional Wall Street reports, and including like flow reports and things like that. Like, that is truly valuable stuff. That's probably one of the largest sources that I use to try and sort out which way the flows are going to come. So that's one that I would definitely put on my list. But I'm sure that there are ones. Yeah, I said I was not going to place a trade. You're right. I'm not going to touch it. I mean, I might still take a trade before I close, but I'm not going to take one for a little while. I'm kind of looking at it like from the movement. I think you could probably try and justify a trade, but I think that what would happen is I would be taking, risk, like maybe another $10, $20 risk for, so this is kind of iffy flow. Like if it comes in here, okay, and we go down to the lows and then push up, and by the time we close here, the interest rate is 3.65 or something like that, then I'm definitely going to be pissed. Like, oh man, I should have taken a trade, right? But if we just stay within this range, which is likely, it's probably not worth it for me, huh? And I don't think that we're going to be at 3.65 by the end of this. So it's like there's somebody buying it there, an iceberg at 02. So don't think I want to fight that. See if it gets filled. Sometimes that can kind of make a pivot point, but $3.75 would be the spot. It is looking like it could turn. Uptick. Yeah. Later, NASDAQ killer. Zero Hedge. ZeroHedge.com. Do not. Right-wing financial blog. You didn't take your trade today? He's all grinding on me. So why didn't you take a trade? He didn't take any. Hold on. Let me just find the zip file for you. While we're here, I guess I could look and see if there's any fun new indicators on futures IO. And that one I know you can get for elsewhere, but let's see what kind of futures IO specific ones there are. Not TradeStation. Wow. Hey, there's a new local high. So what would we be at? A minus 20. It's fine. We did better. We took less of a loss than we would have. I think it was worth, given the situation, I think it was totally worth the risk. It's a little disappointing that it didn't pan out. I really feel like that it should have came through. You think the Spoos is selling for tax loss selling and redemptions? I think it could be. Because I find it awfully suspicious that everybody in the media thinks that it's because they're concerned about another cycle of interest rate hikes, and the treasuries aren't signifying that at all. Because this week would be the perfect kind of place to put a trade like that on, or perfect location and everything. Like, why wouldn't you just go short and hold it if you thought that was going to happen, right? If the Federal Reserve ends up having to be more hawkish than anticipated, then this is the perfect place to go short. But I'm not seeing that flow. Well, actually, I take that back. I am seeing that flow because the 10-year is selling overall, right? But it's not enough to move the market maker, apparently. Looks like there might have been a stop run there. It was definitely like a spike in volume and stuff. I should probably look at I should probably do some tax loss selling. I told myself I was going to do it last week and I didn't do it. Now that it's Tuesday, maybe today could be a good day to do it. Thing is the stock that I want to tax loss sell is like really doing quite well at the moment. It's four days of landing delays. Well, you're not wrong. I mean, that was kind of kind of part of my theory, I guess, was that they sold yesterday because of Nick Timmeros, didn't quite get underneath of here, and I thought, oh, okay, today would be the perfect time to make that happen. They're not actually going for it. They're staying in the range. Really kind of like pretty disappointing action in the Treasury. How much of the core data that is used by market participants do you think is public or private? So it's going to depend on the instrument, but I think the reality is that the amount of information that any one participant has is such a small piece of the overall pie that how much of it is public or private is probably irrelevant. You get what I mean? I'm kind of assuming that you're kind of trying to game it out like, okay, well, how much information do I actually need to have in order to actually have an edge? You know, how much edge can I get from this, etc., etc. And what I'm saying is that it's literally everywhere, right? Like Here's how much there is to know. And then here's the smartest guy in that market. And it's only 1/100th of what there is to know. Is what I think the situation is. So that means that really what matters is just the individual piece of information you have. You have a piece of information, is it factored in by the market correctly? Do you have some sort of catalyst that will drive order flow in your direction? Right? And it's more about knowing that you have the edge in that specific instance. I think in that instance that we had something that I think could give us the edge. I think that we had a little bit of edge in that situation, but it didn't come through. Wasn't driving the flow strongly enough. We could probably justify taking a trade now. 575. Still. It's awfully weird action though. How long had I been on the chart screen for? Yeah, man, I don't know. But so some people say like, oh, the S&P 500 has gone too much; it has to pull back now, right? And when I look at the chart of an S&P 500, I'm like, okay, I guess I can kind of see that. I'd like to see an explanation that's more based on their order flows, but I can see where you could come in and say, yeah, maybe it's not, right? But then when I look at like these small cap and tech companies and stuff, they're just skidding along the bottom, man. Like they're probably way oversold. Or some of these, there are some good names out there that are probably way oversold and could rally. So I feel like coming in and making a pronouncement on the market about that it's overbought or oversold like that is probably not going to be very effective. Have you tried options on treasuries? Not really, no. I think I would need a little bit more money to do it, right? Like if I was willing to put up $100,000, there's probably a lot of things that I should probably try, huh? But maybe we do something. I really think we get Series 65 and we can start an investment company and we could have any kind of fund that we want, right? Well, the reason why I say you probably would need a little bit more is because the things that I would think would be advantageous about options would require holding a long time, right? Like I would rather sell the extremes on the direction that I don't like, and let those options expire worthless, pocket the money that way. That means that I would need to be able to hold the full contract size. So the minimum amount for me to do that wouldn't be a lot, but in order for me to do it safely, I'd probably need a couple 10K. I'd need like 30,000 or something. And while I could certainly raise 30,000, I would not feel comfortable risking 30,000, so. I did. Did I not send it? Oh, it attached the wrong thing. Sorry. So dumb. I'm so dumb today. There. Problem with treasury option rights is overnight. The option margin swings? Changes? Really? Because of gamma and stuff, huh? The other thing is to do it appropriately, but it is 1 for 1, right? So like if I was going to do something drastically different from scalping the treasuries, and that wouldn't even necessarily have to mean like it changed the focus and we started doing something different on the stream. Maybe it was a side thing, okay? And we didn't change doing this, right? But if I was going to do something drastically different, what I'm saying is I would be more interested in the money management side of things, right? Like, I think that what would probably have been like the best way for me to do things this year would have been to manage a portfolio, a bond portfolio short, right? Because we knew the whole time, and it was kind of like I just couldn't hang on to it with scalping, right? But we had at many points these like swing trades and stuff on the shorts, and made tons, and made enough on that, on the sim at least, that if you were a fund with a large amount of money trading it, that I think that the shareholders would be pretty happy. And I think that the way you could go would be as simple as the Federal Reserve has said that they're going to raise interest rates, so we're short treasuries. That's simple, right? And we stay short until the Federal Reserve gives some sort of indication that they're going to back off and start reducing rates, right? Which means that we would probably stay that way until like next March. Like that's the way that I think would probably to run it, right? And we could probably do a bunch of back testing kind of stuff to show it, right? That I think would be kind of me, the further down the line sort of development path that I think we're going down. Yeah. Octavia says that's where the money is. You were talking about the money management design. The other thing is that I'm realizing that I do I know more than I thought I did. I guess you could say. So and I feel like I'm not utilizing everything that I know. Right. I'm using this tremendous amount of knowledge to do something pretty trivial, you know, and struggle, and there's not really that much profit in it, right? So like, even if we were doing it really well, I don't think there's that much profit in it. So the whole thing is, there's probably a more efficient way to profit off of that knowledge. I guess one way that I can profit off of this knowledge is creating better software tools, right? But to really give you guys, I mean, the NinjaTrader indicators is like a really easy way to get like good value out. So indicators that I think are absolutely essential, and you can't really get outside that, especially not for NinjaTrader. And in order to provide a lot more value than that, I'd probably have to start making my own platform, and that would be like a whole multi-million-dollar sort of business. So that would be it would take a while for us to bootstrap that, right? But we'll keep developing that pipeline. I don't know if that one's ever going to go. So in the meantime, I feel like we should kind of get on the money management side. And I didn't realize that it was as simple as like, oh, you do have to have a Series 65 and you have to register your company and all that. But then at that point, we could do it, right? Like we could start a hedge fund or even a mutual fund if we wanted to. I'm pretty sure that at that point that we have like the qualifications to do it. At least the legal qualifications to do it. Whether or not we have a good strategy to do it with is a different issue. Oh man, it's that fell down hard again, the 5-year. Well, I've only got 5 minutes, so stay profitable. We say stay excellent team, guys. That's what we do now. Not give anybody false impressions of false expectations of profits. And that was clearly a joke. We'll wait here for a few minutes so that I can feel maximum FOMO when they just crash back down to the lows. I really am like straight up concerned that after the European markets close, that it will turn and it'll start and interest rates will rise a ton again. Yeah, Sim22 is the one that he made it. I think he posts on Futures.io and some other places, because there's other places where you can find the indicator. I think it's on the NinjaTrader app share. Yeah, it's a bunch of weird indicators, but he's probably gonna go and try and find him and start bugging him to change the indicator or something. Well, how badly do I think it's gonna go down? Oh, this the 10-year is definitely selling, man. It's a tough call, I think, because we are seeing the volume sell. It's been about a net 10,000 contracts short through this whole time period over the last hour and a half or so. It's still moving pretty slowly, and I'm not seeing that correlation with the 6J anymore. So the Treasury is moving down a little bit, but the 6J is not. And because the volume and the price haven't kind of been in line, that kind of makes it iffy. right? That means that our order flow is maybe not driving it as hard. So that it could be a reason to not want to take the trade. I do think that, though, that there could be some opportunities to go long interest rates here and see interest rates go back up towards 4%. But it looks like if it does do it today, it's going to give us a lot of grief first. So what can you do? Right, yeah. So it's like the thing is that if you're gonna, like, I think that what you're gonna do is you're gonna go like long a contract and then sell or something, you know. Go long a contract and then sell a put or something like that. Actually, I think I would rather sell the calls. Either point is you want to make money off of the option expiring, right? So you would probably need the margin at least for, you know, like the $5,000 or whatever it is that you need to hold overnight for a full contract, right? And you need at least double that to have a future and an option on at the same time. So, and then I don't know what your span is at that point, but maybe it would only just be enough for the one contract, and then when you put the second contract on, the span requirements come in and you're hedged and you're fine. But either way, it's not as interesting to me. It sounds to me like a lot of work for not a whole lot of extra benefit. Maybe if I was going to do it with like 1,000 contracts, it'd be different. So I don't like any broker that uses even a single cent more than, yeah, their commissions would matter a lot on that too, wouldn't it? Okay, well, it's time for me to skip out here. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bank of Canada decisions, so might be interesting tomorrow. In the meantime, stay excellent, team.